musically. We got like 10 more seconds.
That's all right. We're jumping into this, man. Yeah. We doing this. Welcome, everyone. We're doing this live this time. This is episode 33.
Yeah.
Of the SnapCast Podcast with your hosts, Brad O'Brien and Mike Cooley. This is a podcast for the casual Magic player.
No.
No, this is my opinion on it.
Okay.
It's for the casual Magic player.
Yeah.
With an interest in MTG finance.
Interesting.
Interesting interests.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would say that we are more a podcast for competitive Magic players that have a casual interest in MTG finance. But the problem is you can't be a friggin' competitive Magic player these days. There are no events.
What are you competing in? Come on now.
Fastest runs back and forth to the fridge.
We're all casuals these days.
Sam Picard.
Yo. I was hoping to see some sick rips. Of course you were. Of course
No, we didn't. We weren't ready to do the unboxing live, although that would have been pretty spicy.
Yeah, and while we're talking here, I'm going to go edit that font. That font was so small. You got to forgive us. This is our first time doing this live.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're trying to get back to Streamlabs?
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
We're running it.
I could read it. That's fine. Hey, yep. Sam, say hello again. It would be very helpful.
Dude, so what's up, everyone? We're going to talk about some crazy stuff that's going on right now. First of all, we got Double Masters coming out tomorrow. It feels like just yesterday we were talking about
It feels like just yesterday we were cracking packs.
But it also feels like it wasn't very long ago that we were talking about like this set dropping. Yeah. And what could possibly be in it.
Literally the last 2 weeks of podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Sup?
Yep, we see it. We see you, Sam. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But yeah, like it just seems this all came at us so quickly, man. I'm so pumped that you were able to get your hands on some boosters, some Double Masters, and crack those. That was pretty sick, man. Cracked the foiled Mana Crypt, you bastard.
I know. I wish I could have gotten him the foil Force of Will, but just wasn't in the cards.
I think. Man, I think the Mana Crypt is where you want to be, though, right? Like, that's the big one.
I think so.
That's the big one. You cracked the Holy Grail.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you're saying dollars for donuts, Force of Will is the card.
Oh, it is. Yeah, look at that. Mana Crypt, though. It's right up there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mana Crypt is currently $162 for the foil, and the Force of Will, yep, you see it right here, $65. Wow, that is such a difference, dude.
Yeah,
that is such a difference.
I know you didn't like this Force of Will art, but I'm telling you that public demand is saying differently.
I don't know, man. When they first released the Judge Foil on this, the Judge Foil version was like $800 when they released it and gave it out to people. So this is subpar. Subpar showing for this, but then again, this is pre-release too. This hasn't even technically been released,
right? And so we did talk about this last week.
Yeah,
that, or at least this theory that because those are so desirable and so rare, there's going to be a lot of the chaff. I mean, I'll be surprised if Path to Exile is worth more than $1 or $2 after this printing. I think this will be a watershed moment for a lot of staples.
Yeah, man. I just saw a card. We were just thumbing through some cards over here. And for all of you Affinity players out there, I just saw a card that used to be, you will know as an Affinity player, this card used to be expensive. And it was Glimmer Void. That used to be like a $50 card. And Brad was just showing me, like, it just randomly popped up here on a website. And it was like $2. $2. It was so bad. I'm like, how did this happen? How did we get to this point in Magic history? Glimmer Void is $2. Man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maze of Ith, $8.
Well, and again, it hasn't launched yet.
I know, this is so nuts. These prices are all over the place, man. I feel like that could go down some.
So let's see. I was looking at some foil prices. Yeah.
Oh, that was the foil. I'm sorry. That was the foil Maze of Ith worth $8. Forgive me.
No, it like $12.
Oh, okay. Okay.
$12 for a foil Maze of Ith.
And you know what's weird about this set is that usually the foil prices are at least double the card price. Not even close with this.
Not
like
even close.
150% is what I've seen for most of them. Like, yeah, that's low. You can get the regular card here for $8 or $9, or you can get the foil for $12. What are you gonna pick?
Well, I know for me, I'm a trollop for the shiny, so I'm gonna go with the shiny card.
Of course, man.
Always.
How did you feel personally as a humans player when you cracked a foil full art noble hierarch and a foil full art meddling mage in your video?
I felt like the universe was right there telling me, hasn't that been norm since VIP? Hasn't what been the norm? Sorry, bud.
So he's talking about like when cards get reprinted and the foil versions are not double what they're...
Well, they did also increase the foil drop rate. I know in standard products, I don't know if that carries through to this, but because the VIP packs are all foil uncommons, and the foil bulk rares, which in this set, compared to Box Topper, Force of Will, Maze of Ith is jank.
Yeah.
And believe me, after opening 2 boxes and 4 VIP packs, there's a lot of jank in this set.
Yeah. And can you imagine these people that buy these VIP booster packs, that they're some subsect of people out there that buy these VIP packs are probably buying them to try to make a profit or make their money back. They're doing like the pack gambling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they are in a fit of desperation, I think, going to pitch these like commons and uncommons that are foils that are pretty sought after. Like the abrades that you cracked. How many foil abrades did you crack from that?
Probably more, well, certainly more than a playset.
Yeah. And that card alone, without being foil, used to be worth $3. Like that's ridiculous. I can't even imagine what the foils are going to be at right now. Now, truth be told, did you crack more foil abrades than you did regular abrades? I did not count.
I think so.
Oh, man.
Because I might have opened 2 or 3 abrades. Well, I might have opened 2 or 3 abrades in 2 boxes, and I probably opened 2 or 3 abrades in the 4 VIP packs. God. So it felt the ratio of cards when you're looking at this little stack of cards, and every one is foil. It is a good feeling. Actually, one of the comments that we got on that unboxing video was, once you got to the regular packs, the lack of excitement was tangible. Like that person's comment, which I thought was very constructive, was, hey, once you got away from the VIP packs, I could tell you weren't having as much fun.
Yeah.
And it is a learning moment where if I'm going to do another unboxing like that where we have 2 vastly different products, maybe do them as 2 different videos.
Or I think what he was saying too in his comment was just let us know ahead of time. Like I thought you did.
That was in the first 30 seconds.
I feel like that's coming from some person who might have skipped through it a little bit. Yeah, like what's going on?
Oh, because we moved the camera from previous weeks. When we bump the table or shake the floor, we're shaking the camera.
Yeah, that's all right. Earthquake's going on over here. Don't worry about it.
This is live broadcast number 1.
Exactly. Hey, we got some kinks to work out, but we're going to do it. But dude, so I feel like that might come from a person who's like skipping through, because I blatantly remember when I read that comment, unless I'm reading it incorrectly, that you did kind of give us the heads up like a couple of times. You were like,
oh, I definitely did in the video.
This is probably not going to be as exciting as these VIP packs. You know, but either way, regardless, I think
you know what's cool?
What's that?
We can actually like go to them.
Poor guy. We're like calling.
No, but that's the thing. Oh, I didn't mean to go to that dude's thing. I wanted to go to his comment on our video.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make the opening of the normal box so unpleasant, then at least start with that first.
Oh, I see what you mean. So
he
start
was
with
saying
that,
get the crap out of the way and build up hype.
I see what you mean. Yep, I read it wrong.
And I think, you know, that's really cool. Again, constructive feedback.
But then again, in a YouTube world where you need to like wow people within the first few seconds, I feel like you did a great job starting with a VIP pack first and being like, yeah, by the way, we're just going to crack this. And then you crack the foil mana crypt, like get out of town, dude.
How do you go up from that?
Yeah, you can't go up from that. I don't care if you cracked another couple VIP packs, you're probably not going up from that. Like that's one of the top 2 cards you can crack right there.
I also think that, you know me, and you have commented on this before, that in this podcast, you're the excitable one. I'm the more calm and just sort of mellow one out of the 2 of us generally.
With your very passive dad jokes, which I appreciated in that video.
No problem.
Is mine.
But that person that is not
yours.
familiar with our personalities, who we are as people, didn't realize when I opened that Stoneforge Mystic, I was like, that's sweet. I mean, I wasn't as emotive as I was over the foil.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, clean up aisle Brad.
I did notice that when you cracked the Stoneforge, I think your comment was like, yeah, like something. And I was you just cracked a Stoneforge, dude. Come on. That's not bad.
Not bad at all, no.
Yeah.
Certainly a card, I think I even said last week, like, this is the set that I will get them.
Yeah.
So it's almost been a theme for 4 or 5 weeks now. When is a good time to add cards to your collection? It wasn't last week. It isn't even this week. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's the week after. But in the 3 weeks that we've been watching that foil meddling mage borderless that I want for humans, I've watched that go down from $60 to under $10.
Oh yeah.
And again, the set's not out until tomorrow.
Right.
So what's it going to be next Friday?
Exactly. And by the way, Jason Clark, yes, we are live. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for being an awesome person in general. An awesome person in general.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna say. You're just an awesome person in general, man. We appreciate you.
And that's all you had to say. Thank you for being on now. I think Jason is actually on vacation. He's my neighbor, and I'm going to help look after his plants in his pool. I might have to look after the pool from the inside. I haven't decided.
Oh, nice. No, but yeah, I was going to say there's a lot more fun looking after the pool. That's for sure. Those plants will survive.
The plants will
I'll
survive.
be out
Watching
beaching
the pool
out
from the inside. It'll be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're looking at some prices so far. This set hasn't even dropped yet, man. It doesn't drop until tomorrow. And some of these prices have like just shot down. I mean, did you sort before when you were looking at this list? Did you sort by like...
So this list was sorted from highest to lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Because sort of what I wanted to point out is, okay, by page 4, we're market price under $10.
Wow.
And this is not a small set.
And dude, can I just point this out real quick?
Yeah, oh, please.
Like, how is this still $15?
EDH?
How is I understand that. I understand it's good in EDH.
Oh, but
this was 15.
It won't stay that.
Not at all, man. This is going back down to like a $5-6 card. You can mark my words, man. Like,
for those of you that are listening to the podcast, he's highlighting Toxic Deluge.
Yeah. Like when I had like, I think 8 Toxic Deluges from all of those sets. When they hit $15, I actually sold mine. I was like, well, that's ridiculous. Like, let me sell these. And now, like, this is $15. What do you think this is going to be at when it comes out tomorrow? You think it'll definitely drop?
I'll probably drop by half.
Do you think the same is true for like Noble Hierarch over here? Do you think that's going down as well?
So it's interesting, and this would be a hard thing to quantify, but I feel like there's a marginal utility thing. You know, it's interesting. We don't have the chat over this window, do we?
Yeah, we do. We got it there. Oh,
we do?
Wait, nope. Nope, we do. We got it. We good.
Okay, so we would see it no matter what. I don't want to miss anything because this is fun live and having some comments from you guys.
Yep.
That the playability and the history of a card, I think, weights the percentage that it's going to lose. So I look at a card like Toxic Deluge, which was expensive from EDH, and a quasi shortage of reprints.
Right.
When that gets reprinted, it's going to get squashed.
Yeah, because it was printed in one set, right? One set, maybe two. Was it printed? I don't think it was ever reprinted. I think this is the second reprinting, or the second printing of Toxic Deluge.
Well, so Double Masters,
Eternal
Commander
Masters.
13, Eternal Masters.
Okay, Eternal Masters. I was wrong.
Yeah. So, but not that many.
Yeah.
But enough that would probably drive it down.
Yeah.
For a while.
Man,
for a
that's
while.
So nuts. That's so nuts, man.
Noble Hierarch in this set, because they also have the promo version in this set, it could get squashed, but I don't think it's going to lose half of its value. Like, I don't know if you're going to see Noble Hierarchs for $7 next week. There comes a point where people say, I would rather not sell it.
Right.
And that is true for everybody up until you are just a commercial endeavor.
Exactly.
Like,
so I'm looking at these. I'm looking at, well, I'm going to switch scenes here so you guys can see what we're looking at. But I'm looking at Walking Ballista here, too, going down to as low as $13.85. I got to ask you, Brad, how do you feel about our trade now when I traded you those?
Here's the thing.
Because I feel like you won out.
You felt then like I won out. And I knew even then that I didn't. Because eventually this card was going to get reprinted, and you're sort of taking us off a tangent into something else that we want to talk about today.
Sure.
And I don't know if we want to go there yet.
All right. But just so you know,
you bastard.
Walking Ballista, between $13 and $14.
So why is Cooley bringing this up? Because when Pioneer was announced and the mono white Heliod Ballista deck started, I was 100% in on that deck. I had foiled out most of it. And of course, the hardest thing at that point, or the most costly thing at that point, to put into that deck were foil Walking Ballistas.
Yeah.
I only knew one person that had foil Walking Ballistas.
I don't know who that is. Who are you talking about?
And so I think I traded for 3 from you and 2 from Waldo.
Mm-hmm.
So I traded a lot of stuff away for a card that I knew eventually would be reprinted.
Yeah.
And that was fine. I'm fine with that. I talked with Braden Cola earlier today. This set reducing the value of cards doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I am going to grow my collection so much from all of the affordable cards that have just been reprinted that I don't feel bad about any value that I lost on this set. But when WotC drops a sudden BNR announcement and takes out every combo deck in the Pioneer format, including the goddamn Heliod Walking Ballista, by banning Walking Ballista from Pioneer.
Yeah.
That hurt.
That's rough, man.
So not only did I trade at an overvalue because I desired the cards more at an inopportune time, but now I can't play them in the format that I traded for them for. It's fine. I will play them in Eldrazi and Modern. You know, there'll be one in the Karn board for sure, and probably some in the main deck. So I will still get to play with foil Walking Ballistas, and I don't have to fight for those right now. Although I might be able to get them in better condition. Just saying.
Yeah, that's true, man. They didn't do a box topper of Walking Ballista, did they?
No, they didn't, because they just did the Secret Lair Walking Ballista.
Yes. Yep.
So they've already done a premium foil version of that this summer.
Interesting. So, dude, do we want to just jump into that? We can bounce back to these.
We can bounce back
to these.
We're talking about the August 3rd banned and restricted announcement.
How did you guys feel about that? Did you agree with what's going on here? I think this was a little overzealous, if I'm being completely honest. So I've played Arena. I mean, back when I was streaming Arena a couple months ago, and we were posting on the channel, like, some of these cards were good, but I don't know if they were like busted level. Yeah, and honestly, like, Dalton brings up a good point. If they would just develop a policy and stick with it, like ideals that we could trust, like, okay, so for example, you remember when I said these words, which now have been proven wrong. I'm like, Blizzard will or Wizards will never ban a card for being too defensive. You know what I mean? I was like, Wizards will never ban a card for being too defensive because because they said that with Force of Will. They used that with Force of Will in Legacy back in the day when they banned Mental Misstep. They said, we're not going to ban a card just because a lot of people use it or everybody's using it. We're going to ban it when it's not fun to play against. And I'm telling you, when they banned Veil of Summer in so many formats, I was blown away.
Yep.
I was like, okay, so you've said that you're not going to ban cards that everybody's playing. You're going to ban when they're not fun to play against. If someone's countering your spell or stopping their disruption, you know what I mean? Come on. Like, are you serious? But
I don't know. I watched Kevin Flagg put the hurt on some homies earlier this week with Veil of Summer.
Oh, granted, it's a good card. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's a feel bad Supreme.
It's an insanely good card. But at most, it's defensive.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was kind of the undertone of what they said when they banned Mental Misstep. They were like, this is just not fun to play against. I don't feel like Veil of Summer's on that same level. And they just haven't really been consistent with the things that they've said in bannings. Like Growth Spiral. Are you serious? Growth Spiral in Standard?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, you haven't been playing enough Standard. You've been doing your own thing for a while, man.
I understand, but I don't
Here's
know
the thing. We got Ugin in the goddamn format.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't even start with me on Growth Spiral.
Ban Ugin! That card is so bad. It's so busted.
How
ban that one. What are you talking? Like, don't ban the cards that you're like, oh, okay, like we can ramp up when we get to these cool cards to play, but Ugin exists, so we have to kill the stuff that gets him to that quicker. How about you just take that card out?
How much green-blue crap have we talked about for the last couple of years?
Oh my God, dude, it's been ridiculous.
Think about if all the green-blue crap were actually legal. So if you could play Veil of Summer and Oko, what else has been banned?
Veil Summer, Oko, Growth Spiral. Wilderness Reclamation was another ban here. Like, and if we're sticking kind of with the blue theme, the other big card that finally caught the ban that a lot of people were talking about was Teferi Time Raveler.
Hallelujah.
Man. Yeah, that was the boogeyman in the format right there.
Let's see. Agent of Treachery, blue card.
Wow.
Growth Spiral, Oko.
Once Upon a Time.
That's what I was trying to think of. I knew that there was another key card. God, 2020 has felt like 10 years.
Man. They really went over the top with green and blue spells this year.
If all of those were actually legal right now, good riddance, I say. Right back at... Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I want to say. You are absolutely right, good sir. I concur. Good riddance to all of them.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Here's the thing. We got rid of Teferi, and you know what we can do? We can put that back up here. We're looking now at the total.
Hey, Zach Fowler. Thanks, man.
Subscriber.
Appreciate the sub, brother.
You're a good man.
Good dude.
Has there ever been a standard format with more cards banned at one time?
I don't think so. In fact, as you brought that list up, I was just thinking that. I'm like, this is an insane amount of banned cards in Standard. And what does that even mean for a format like Standard? I feel like back in the day, if you look 2, 3, 4 years ago, how many cards were actually banned in Standard at that point? The only time before recent history that I remember cards getting banned in Standard is when we had vicious cards like Jace the Mind Sculptor in Standard.
That's the thing. I mean, for pretty much my whole... I'm trying to think of what the first card I saw banned in Standard was.
Skull Clamp. That was the first one I ever saw.
I don't remember there ever being banned Standard cards until like Eldritch.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What was banned in Eldritch Moon? Because I was just trying to think of Ferocidon, but that was banned really for other reasons.
It just goes back to this like power creep thing that we always talk about. Like they're just willy-nilly like, screw it. We're just going to print it. And if we need to ban it, we'll ban it. Like that's...
And in
I
some
support
ways,
this, Blizzard.
Right.
Like, keep doing this. Like, that's awesome.
Since
it really makes investing really tough, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's it. At some point.
Emrakul. Was Emrakul banned in Standard?
Huh.
Yeah, that's still... It's insane, man. Like...
So, I lost my Ballistas out of Pioneer. Ho-hum. But I won't have to play against Inverter of Truth or Kethis combo or... Breach combo. Oh, I realized we sort of got off on a tangent. Teferi Time Raveler. Now, GB, I know. Oh, was it Aetherworks Marvel that got banned? The actual artifact itself?
Yes. That definitely got banned.
Jeez, thank you for being our synapses and firing over here. Teferi Time Raveler is banned. What it should say to the right of that is absorb, unbanned. Negate, unbanned. Because nobody could play counterspells.
Oh, yeah.
In this entire format, you had to play things that played to the board. You couldn't react.
That's true. Wow.
You couldn't, even if you had Veil of Summer and he wanted to bounce something, you were screwed.
Wow.
So really what Teferi says is, interactive magic is back on the menu, boys.
That's kind of true, man.
It's not the things that I like, but it does mean that I can flash in my Embercleave. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So Embercleave with, it's so exciting.
Man,
Cauldron
this is
Familiar
nuts.
being gone, I can play creatures.
Cauldron Familiar, I definitely agreed with. Like, ever since I first saw that combo in Standard, was there anyone else who was completely discouraged when they first saw that combo? Like, you play, I mean, I can't even tell you. You remember the whole adventure we went on when I was streaming Magic Arena? I was like, I'm getting back into this. And then I see someone that's just like, Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven. And then they keep blocking my big dude, and I'm losing life because of it. I'm like, so this game's over, right? I'm just waiting for you to completely annihilate me way later in this game.
Yeah, one drain at a time.
Right. Like, this is ridiculous.
And thanks for pointing that out, GB. Traditional blue-white is playable now. And you can actually have back and forth, now if you're playing a blue-white mirror, you don't just put down Teferi and your opponent is screwed. You don't go Teferi Narset and then that person doesn't play Magic anymore. It feels super powerful.
Yeah.
It feels great because you feel so safe after playing Teferi. You know that you're not going to get surprised.
They're really making this game like reality now. There's no such thing as such safety. You can't feel too safe ever. And Teferi just gives you that safety.
Now, here's something we talked about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Good time to pick up cards is after they're banned in a format.
Hell yeah, man. Oh, I already had my Teferis because I loved that thing even at $20, but I'm going to love it even more if it goes down below 10. That's like on the level of Oko in my mind. Look, I mean,
But
we have
is
two
it?
Planeswalkers that equal mana cost that are banned in the same format. And Teferi, I think, has consistently been undervalued even when it has been busted before it was banned.
Oh, somehow I got us on the title card.
That's all right, man. They didn't need to see our faces anyway. But
Live experiments here. I am so excited. I really am that we have seen so far. GB, Sam Picard, Jason, and Dalton.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Thank you guys for joining us, man.
We didn't tell anybody that we were going to go live tonight, so this is really cool. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for our potential embarrassments that we broadcast live to the internet.
Teferi Time Raveler.
Yeah, I'm wondering what this has gone down to. I saw $15 on the other screen. What?
Now you guys get to hear me swear and get pissed off at my computer because
No, hold up. You guys got to see what I'm just going to switch this real quick. You got to see all of his bad all of his bad typing. Oh, hold up.
It's a good thing we don't charge for this, isn't it? Teferi,
you should have seen how many times it took Brad to type Teferi correctly into this browser.
No, it wasn't that. It was that my computer kept auto-correcting Teferi to refer.
Oh.
It kept saying, oh, you obviously can't mean this word that is popping up in the search field.
Let me refer you to refer. Oh my God, it's down to $11. There's as low as $10. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's stupid.
And look at all these now playable cards down here.
Customers also purchased Narset, Dovan's
Veto,
Veto,
Mystical Dispute, Absorb.
Man, so you can get absorbs as low as $1. You might want to get those now because I feel like those are going to be played more in Standard. Just like you said, like those are now playable in Standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I always thought that card Absorb was overvalued at $8 when it came out, because before any attention was brought to it, it was always like $1 card.
Yeah.
And then blam, it gets reprinted and it's still $8. I was like, hey, get out of town. That's overvalued. I might pick them up at $1.
What a wild time.
What a wild time, man.
And now Wilderness Reclamation. That's seeing play in Modern. People are trying that in Pioneer and in Modern.
Yeah. They made a
What's
mistake.
Dalton saying here?
Dalton is saying, well, we missed it.
Dalton, copy and paste that into a second comment. We need a sound effect for when we get comments or something.
Well, what we could also do is play the next level approach and have our actual YouTube up and going so we can check the comments.
Oh my
too.
goodness, can we do that?
Yeah, we can. That's definitely, yeah, we can do that. But
now this seems like super meta. Can we have ourselves, it'll be like in a million windows?
You know, that's basically.
How do we find it? Snapcast live stream.
While you do this, don't bring our viewers through this boring adventure. That's basically. Yeah,
how do we?
Because now it's gonna play it. So let me take this. Let me take this.
Closing that.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I do this on Twitch all the time. You gotta mute the actual stream.
Okay, yeah, I just did, but
don't worry about it.
After I close the window.
Either way,
you guys having fun yet?
Glitches. But dude, so
glitches get stitches.
They get them eventually on this podcast. We have to figure them out first.
But so now is the time to get yourself some Mazaviths. If you ever wanted a foil Sunken Ruins, next Friday might be the day to get yourself a foil Sunken Ruins.
And the prices that you see on some of these websites here are just like, I feel like they're overpriced. Like they're probably going to go down.
We can't say that more than that.
Exactly.
This set is actually not out yet.
Right.
And as much as I would say, I cracked some packs last night. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. I don't know that I would run out and buy any of this. I would say look at a box. A box is $300. For how many play sets of Modern staples could you get?
That's exactly what I did with the last when they printed Eternal Masters. That's exactly what I said. I was like, I could go buy a box for like $150, $200 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I literally took, I think it was $70 or $80 and bought all of the cards that I actually wanted from the set in play sets. Granted, I didn't get the foils. I don't care about that. I don't care about foils. Like, but I was able to play a lot more decks at that point for $80. Like, it was nuts.
I mean, obviously, like cards that have been historically just good and valuable cards. Manamorphose was stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
You can get them dirt cheap now.
$3.33.
Again, set's not even out yet.
Just gonna take this
foil $5.
Yeah, like
I mean,
this is crazy. So this is the Manamorphose he was looking at for $3. I was looking at Court of Calling that went down to $385, $374.
Yeah, no,
the prices are all over the place. So like as soon as we click on these, you'll see different prices. It's because nobody knows what they're charging.
And here we're looking at foils for $6. So it's a 100%, just about 100% markup for foil. But
for a card that was $8 regular version not long ago, $6 foil is pretty insane.
Well, and it's just, if next week this is $2.50, you're going to get a play set of chords for your collection for $10.
Yeah. And man, so you had brought up Wilderness Reclamation in Standard, and I'm telling you, that was, of all decks when we were playing Standard, the worst card. I hated seeing decks like that. I was just waiting. Like whenever I saw someone play like a breeding pool, I was just waiting. It was like, come on, really? Like eventually you're just going to slam a Wilderness Reclamation and this game's going to be not fun. Like they really messed up printing that card. Do you think that should have been a legendary card?
Ooh, I think that would have been a good fix. I think that they also had some assumptions on, Teferi was your check on Wilderness Reclamation. Like, yeah, you can have all the mana you want at your end step.
You're not going to cast anything.
You're not going to cast anything.
Yeah.
So I think that they had tried to do powerful things and balance them. But when your three options were Jund Sacrifice, Wilderness Reclamation, or blue-white Yorion Control, if anything else that you try to play can target one of those, but not all three.
So my buddy texted me before we actually got on this podcast here, and he was actually saying something very, very interesting. I trust him whenever he says stuff because he doesn't just pull it out of his ass. Like, he actually backs it up from somewhere. But
what are you trying to say?
Yeah, that's all you do, Brad. I'm just kidding. You're pretty informed too. I only keep informed friends around that don't, say ridiculous stuff.
He's been drinking.
I mean,
so what did your friend say?
Dude, so this is what he said. Magic Arena, best of 3.
Yep.
Green deck, mono green,
has
the best win percentage right now at about 80%, 79 or 80%.
Is that in the last 2 days since the banning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, ever since the banning, mono green, 80% win rate. That's nuts. If you think about it, nothing got touched in this banning from mono green. And mono green was kind of right on the brink of being insane before this ban.
Yeah, I follow... I don't get to play Arena an awful lot, so I follow the challenges right off the bat. So if I'm supposed to play live FFS, we're not going to read that aloud.
I know what that means.
I know what that means, too.
I can pick up what you're putting down.
That's Tech 4. Andy, who does our Attacking the Meta segments, you will see on this channel on occasion.
Oh, yeah, man. I wonder how Andy's going to feel about all of these cards getting banned in Standard. Now what meta are you going to have to attack?
Apparently the mono green meta.
Mono green and mono red. Attacking the mono green, mono red meta.
Well, I'll tell you what, nothing got taken out of that Mardu Knights deck, and I had a lot of fun with that.
Ooh, man, that might be back on the menu.
And Embercleave's, the whole Throne of Eldraine is around for another year and a half.
Man.
Thank God I already uploaded a video. Oh, you uploaded that video before the BNR, didn't you?
I saw that. As soon as the BNR announcement came out, it was like I got a notification that's like, on my regular YouTube that's like, SnapCast just released a video. And I was like, you can't play Teferi anymore. What are you doing? It's too bad, though, because I actually like that deck that he was playing. I was like, that's pretty sick. See, Brad does not like the deny permission sort of decks. I have an appreciation for him somewhere deep down in my heart, man, because it's a whole different play style. You force your opponent to think on your level, man. And that's why I always lose the GB. That's why.
Because he's operating at a pretty damn high level.
Yeah, it's like, no, I ain't trying to play this game. All right, you win. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Like me playing against you when you're on hardened scales.
GB. Yep. Yeah, man, that's insane. I'm really curious to see what the meta does now that, all of these, I feel like they didn't really target a specific deck either with this. They basically, with all of these bans, targeted just about every tier 1 deck in the banning for Standard, which is interesting.
Well, and the same thing for Pioneer.
Yeah.
They looked at the top 3 decks and said, yeah, we can't take Inverter of Truth off the board without nuking the Underworld Breach, and we can't take that off the board without nuking the mono-white Heliod deck.
And
Simic
Inverter
Flash.
of Truth.
Simic Flash, that's another one that really didn't lose anything and now gets to play on their opponent's turn.
Oh,
so they don't have to play against Teferi.
Yeah, wow. Why haven't we heard more about that? That seems like a really good deck right now.
The Dimir Flash deck was also pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
Pioneer bannings were really, really bad.
Yeah.
I think it was necessary, but nobody's playing it, so I don't really know how. Should I be caring?
Yeah, Lotus Field is a million times better now. I'm curious as to why you think that. Is
that just because you're going back to the Twitter variant? Twiddle variant, not the Twitter variant.
Twitter too, though. I'm sure people tweeted about it. We have to focus on up here. But so I don't know, man. I feel like the Simic Flash deck is a really good point. Because that was also a deck that, like, it was kind of, you hated seeing it. Like, whenever I played it on Arena, I'm like, my buddy would have to tell me sometimes. He's like, oh, they're on Simic Flash. You're dead. That would usually is what it was followed by. Like, whatever build we had, he's like, he's on Simic Flash. You're dead. And now that, like, the top tier decks are out of the top tier cards in the top tier decks are out of the format, Simic Flash is big, man. Like, that's a really good point. Wow. We're going to see a lot of green still in this format, I feel like.
Excellent information from our friend from Attacking the Meta.
That's right, man. Good dude.
What about the Dimir Flash deck? Is that something that anybody actually wants to play? You got that sweet play a card with Flash, draw something?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like that was never good, was it? Let's be serious.
I never played it. Like I said, mostly with the time that I have, I log on and whatever the challenge is.
Yeah. I always got the feeling that like whenever I was playing that deck, like whenever someone would play not Simic Flash, but the Dimir Flash, I would be like, I always base a deck on the feeling I get when I play against it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like whenever on Dimir Flash, I'm like, oh, whew.
Yeah.
Thank God they're on this one and not some good deck.
Every time you got paired up against me when you were on Scales. Like, this is good. I feel good about this matchup.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was a decent matchup for Scales back in the day.
Why am I the first person to like the video, you heathens? Do you mean this video?
Yeah,
you know
we don't have YouTube up, so we can't see the likes right now. But Tech 4,
you're absolutely right, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Can you tell if you look at the stream on YouTube?
Yeah, you have to mute it though. Like when I stream on Twitch, I have to mute the actual stream, or else there's nasty feedback in my stream.
Yeah, we have the playback muted.
Yep.
So we got 5 watching. That's cool.
Whoa.
Mono green, baby. Deck was good before the bans.
Dude, of course Sam Picard says that. He was running mono green in Modern. I remember his mono green Modern deck was actually pretty insane too. I feel like that's a deck that's close to his heart. You know, it's close to his heart.
You're not my real dad.
See, now we can see the chat. All right, look at this. So
I like being able to see the history.
Oh, for sure. So now we've come into the 21st century here with this. We can now see what's going on. This is what we're doing to be able to catch up here. We appreciate you guys' patience with our first live stream here. This is sweet. We appreciate all you guys' support.
This is fun. If I had realized how interactive this experience would be, I might not have tried to talk Cooley out of it.
Yeah, man.
I was a little nervous about this whole thing. We've been doing, this is our 33rd episode of the SnapCast Podcast.
What do I tell you, though, whenever you get nervous? I just tell you the good old 4 words, man. Jam it, slam it. That's it.
Put it in the can.
Jam it, slam it, can it.
Yeah.
It's close. Yeah. So, interesting bands, though. Like, very, very interesting bands.
That's the one you're looking for.
Yeah.
Historic, Wilderness Reclamation, and Teferi are out. Man, Brawl, Teferi is out. So Brawl is legal in Modern, Legacy, and Vintage.
And by Brawl,
Commander.
he means Teferi.
Yeah, Brawl is banned. Nobody wants to play that.
Banned. It probably should. Like, who plays Pioneer right now? Like, that format is just.
Hey now, I'm not ready to crap on Pioneer. Pioneer got a bad rap because of COVID and quarantine.
Yeah, that's true.
They were ready to do some major events. Lots of GPs were scheduled for Pioneer.
Yeah.
And I think even actually the next Pro Tour that's associated with Return to Zendikar was a Pioneer event. So I think people were still testing the format. Hey, Craig.
Hey, what's up, man?
So there was a big event coming up for Pioneer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get played, or it's going to be played online. I don't know if that means they're going to change it to Arena. Yeah. They are really pushing to do a lot of these tournaments on Arena.
And a lot of people, whenever they start talking about bringing formats to Arena, like whenever I get into a conversation with somebody about them bringing a format such as Modern to Arena, they're like, oh, they could never do it and blah, blah, blah. It's just so much. There's so many sets. And then suddenly,
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. Like every once in a while, you see them release these cards on there with, mechanics that they've programmed into the game. They're in there that didn't exist in any other sets. You know what I mean? Like, look at when they released the Power 9 in that short window of time. I think that was Blizzard's passive aggressive way of letting the community know, shut up. Like we can do this. Like, it's not too much of a hassle to put this into Magic Arena. I'm remaining
they had
hopeful.
Black Lotus on Arena for a special event. Like, it's just a matter of when it's worth it to them, and they're going to get so much blowback at the point where they say, we want to sunset Moto.
Yeah.
So it has to get to the point where they will incrementally wean people off the idea of Moto by putting more of these historic anthologies onto Arena. They're about to do Amonkhet Remastered. We're going to get a bigger and bigger card pool on Arena naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, people are going to just start gravitating over there. I think there will be a tipping point, a threshold that they cross. And I think it is once Pioneer is on there, people will demand almost immediate, like, okay, now you just got to do it.
That's a great point, though, about Modern, because if they do bring Modern onto Arena, you kind of have to ask yourself, what's the point of playing Moto at that point?
I think if they get Pioneer on there, it will do the same thing.
Oh, for sure.
I think because so many people will just switch to playing Arena.
Yeah.
That
sell your Moto cards right now.
No, don't sell them right now. Yeah, well, I will tell you, though, that's a side tangent. If Humans ever pops back up as Tier 1 again, I will probably sell Humans off of Moto.
Yeah.
Because short of Thalia's Lieutenant and Aether Vial, I can almost play Humans on Arena right now.
That's so nuts to think about even.
I have Ancient Ziggurats. I have Unclaimed Territories.
Meddling Mages?
I have Meddling Mage.
What?
I have Kitesail Freebooter.
Oh my God.
I mean, the only reason why Humans is not doing well in Historic is because they don't have any good one-drops. And
no Aether Vial, right?
And no Aether Vial for the tempo, but really they don't have that many good one-drop threats. There just aren't that many in the format.
It'll only be a matter of time, man. This power creep. Eventually they're going to be like, yeah, screw it. Let's just throw Aether Vial right back into Standard. Yep, you guys deserve it. Here you go.
And
printed it uncommon again. That power creep.
You know, so while Humans is Tier 2 or whatever at the moment, I'm not going to run out and try and sell my cards off Moto on the off chance that I want to log in there and play. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But I do think if Humans actually, if they start having competitive events again, that'll be the thing. Because right now, what is driving card desirability?
Yeah.
I mean, paper card desirability. It's part of its habit and routine. We're all in this routine of got to get the cards, got to get the cards, got to get the cards. Reprints and new sets, and want to have these for my collection. So we talked about this like 8 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
But it's a collector's market right now.
Yeah,
cards have values because they're collectible and people want them.
Oh, for sure. And we've kind of always bounced around this idea of like doing an episode about like cards you should invest in the reserved list. And I feel like that's the best investment advice right now. They're reprinting things at like an astronomical rate, man. Like,
yeah, if your aim is investment,
yeah,
that's blue. I mean, that's the big stocks. That's where it's only going to go up.
Oh, for sure.
If a card has any playability.
So I just clicked on one of the most recent Standard events right here that, this is before the banning, because I was actually really curious as to what these bannings would do for like some of the top ranking decks. And if you look at this, dude, it wrecks like half the decks that show up, more than half the decks that show up in this list. Yeah. This meta is about to change. What about Winota, dude? Do we think that this deck is still going to be good after these bannings?
Oh, yeah. Well, and this is another one that's seeing play in Pioneer.
Travis, woohoo, what up, SnapCast? Way to go on those box openings. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, this guy got lucky. If there was ever any person that you wanted to crack packs for you, give your packs to this dude. He's so freaking lucky, man. He's so lucky. Foiled Mana Crypts. Get out of town.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you stopping in, man.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, but so I feel like Winota is it could be good, or maybe it will fall off. Because part of Winota was really good because of all of these, it just beat out the Temur Reclamation. You know what I mean? It beat out Temur Reclamation. It beat out Teferi because it wasn't casting the cards. You know what I mean? Like, it beat out those cards because of these other top tier decks in the format. I wonder if Winota is still going to be as good in this format. Like, because we're going to see mono green and mono red.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know how good Winota was in general. If we look at SCG Tour Online, 8.5.
Number one.
Winota
What were you
Elementals.
saying? What were you saying?
What were you saying? So this is after the ban.
This is after the ban. 5.8.
Because the ban.
Oh, 8.5. Sorry. Yeah, they always have those backwards. I hate the way they do dates on that website.
Was online immediately.
Yep. That's usually how it happens these days.
When did it take place?
8.3.
Well, 1 week notice for advance. I'm just looking to see when it took effect on.
Oh, scroll up.
Effective.
Yeah, effective date as soon as they announced it.
Yeah.
So an August 5th showing is after the banning. Winota. Oh, wow. Winota number one. Wait, Team or Elemental? What is this?
Oh, this is your. I was just gonna say Risen Reef decks, which you haven't seen in probably 3 months.
Wow, Risen Reef is good again.
Euro. It's not mine. It's Euro.
It's not a currency. It's a magic card.
Yeah, who knew that card was good?
Yeah, right. That got so much better now, right? Like, I mean,
that's scary to say. It's already the most expensive card in Standard,
and probably the most powerful if you think about it. Like, if you think, do you ever really like seeing a Euro? Like,
I like paying as an opponent.
Yeah,
no.
if some of your opponent casts a Euro, do you ever like seeing that or Euro, whatever? Like, there's never a window of opportunity where you're like, yeah, I don't mind dealing with that. Like, if you have to counter it, it feels bad. If it hits the board, it feels bad. If they friggin' escape it, feels real bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a zone where it feels good. Like, it's such a powerful card, man.
Yeah, but that did just remind me that there is another card that was just recently printed. It's a card that is very good against Uro. It is also starting to see play in older formats. And that is a 1-drop. And this might be, I don't know if Snap might snap it up, might be a little extreme right now. But I would be looking to have foil Cling to Dusts.
This card has definitely shown up in other formats, even modern. I've seen it in.
Oh yeah,
it's a really efficient graveyard removal. That, like, here's the thing with a lot of the graveyard removal that's out there right now in modern. Your opponent sees it coming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You slam a relic down, your opponent sees it coming. You slam a Grafdigger's Cage down, they know it's there. They can kind of work around it and build up and wait to go off until they can get rid of that. Cling to Dust is like, you never see it coming.
Well, I mean, and Cling to Dust in the way that, and I know that this is not a great comparison, so don't chew me out. But when you're talking about something like Bauble that you almost just put in your deck to be a 0, to not exist, to be a cantrip.
Yeah.
You put Street Wraith maybe in your deck just to be a cantrip. Cling to Dust can eat a land out of your opponent's yard. Doesn't have to be. So as long as it's a non-creature, you draw a card.
Yeah. It's a black cantrip.
Yeah.
God, that's insane. I never even thought of it that way. That's insane.
I am not the big brain to figure out what deck that's in. Obviously, it's not Death Shadow.
If you think about it, for 1 mana, it sure does allow you to do a lot of things.
And it keeps coming back.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, so if you think about it, like, look at a card for how it can be broken, right? So for 1 mana, this card says, exile a card from a graveyard, draw a card, and remove 5 cards from your graveyard.
Do it again.
It just allows you to do so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I always think about how it can be abused, because there are decks that are going to look at that and be like, okay, I need to get cards into exile, or I need to get them out of my graveyard. Eventually, I can't think of any right now, but the fact that Yeah, there you go. Like, you know what I mean? Just there's something that like by allowing you to do different things like that in so many zones for such an efficient mana cost has historically been pretty good.
And it's an instant.
Yeah, man. So you can escape it as an instant too.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's nasty.
I think it's a highly playable 2020 style Magic card.
2020 style.
Yeah. It's got 3 lines of text on it.
Yeah.
They all matter, and it creates card advantage.
Yeah.
Because it just replaces itself. So if you get any benefit out of the effect and it replaces itself.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. That's nuts.
This has been awesome, dude.
This was an awesome cast. We thank you guys so much for joining us on the live cast. Those people that are tuning in, much appreciated. And sorry for all the glitches and the things that we're working through. But hey, with every new step forward, you got to take at least one step back, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning us in. If you haven't already and you're watching or you see this later on, please hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Gets us in that good old YouTube algorithm and gets the positive word out there. Take care, guys.
You guys are the best. Have a good night.